Hello, and welcome to the Title I Part C Program Overview. My name is Idalia Ibanez, Migrant Education Program Manager at TEA. Nes Paniagua, MEP Coordinator at TEA, will also be providing sections of this overview. These presentation slides are part of a recorded webinar that will be posted on the TEA Federal Program Compliance Division web page. Check the web page link below to see when the recorded program webinar has been posted. The objectives of this overview are to increase awareness and knowledge of the Migrant Education Program, or MEP, and to introduce the new program guide. During this session, we will be referencing the Title I Part C Program Guide, the Elementary and Secondary Education ESEA as amended by Every Student Succeeds Act, and the MEP Policy Guidance. The purpose of the Title I Part C program is to assist states in supporting high-quality and comprehensive educational programs and services during the school year and as applicable during the summer or intersession periods that address the unique educational needs of migratory children. To ensure that migratory children who move among states are not penalized in any manner by disparities among the states in curriculum, graduation requirements, and challenging state academic standards. To ensure that migratory children receive full and appropriate opportunities to meet the same challenging state academic standards that all children are expected to meet. To design programs to help migratory children overcome educational disruption, cultural and language barriers, social isolation, various health-related problems, and other factors that inhibit the ability of such children to succeed in school. And to ensure that migratory children benefit from state and local systemic reforms. The general purpose of the MEP is to ensure that migratory children fully benefit from the same free public education provided to non-migratory children. Allocations of funds. Allocations to individual LEAs are determined based on statutory formulas. According to ESSA Section 1304(b)(5), in determining the amount of any subgrants, the state education agencies will award the local operating or local education agencies. The SEAs must take into account the number of migratory children, the needs of migratory children who have priority for service, and the availability of funds from federal, state, and local programs. Entitlement amounts for the current school year for these and other grants are available on the Grants Administration Division page. Entitlements can be found in the ESSA Consolidated Application Entitlement section of the web page. In determining allocations, SEAs must consider the needs of migratory children based on its statewide comprehensive needs assessment. However, SEAs are not required to take into account all of the identified needs of migratory children in the subgrant process and may choose to fund a project that proposes to address additional needs of migratory children, needs that are not identified in the statewide CNA, but which were identified in a particular project if services are not available from other funding sources. For details on the comprehensive needs assessment as it relates to the elements of the continuous improvement cycle, please refer to the statewide delivery plan under Section 1, Program Overview of the Program Guide. The process of determining the LEA allocations is detailed in the ESSA Funding Formula Reference Manual that is available in the handbooks and other guidance section of TEA's Finance and Grants website. In order to address the needs of migratory children in the state, directly or indirectly, the Texas MEP uses funding to support the following projects. These projects either support an identified need or address a statutory requirement.
Determining eligibility for the MEP. Who are the recipients of Title I Part C services? The first step needed before we begin the process of serving children with Title I Part C funds is determining who is eligible for the program. We begin by identifying who may be a migratory child. Then a determination of eligibility for the Migrant Education Program must be made. But who makes those determinations? The agency carries out its IDNR responsibilities by subgranting each of the 20 regional ESEs to train and provide technical assistance to LEAs with migrant projects regarding IDNR requirements, policies, and practices. Locally designated recruiters and designated state education agency reviewers must complete the annual IDNR training as provided by the state. The necessary guidance is provided through the Texas Manual for Identification and Recruitment of Migrant Children. In addition, TA provides a course on IDNR for recruiters and reviewers. Before setting out to perform the task of eligibility determinations, the designated staff, recruiters, and reviewers must take this course and demonstrate mastery of the material. As previously mentioned, eligibility is the first step needed to begin the process of serving migratory children. Once a child is identified as possibly migratory, then a determination of eligibility for the Migrant Education Program must be made. Making this determination requires the usual steps in any type of investigation, determining the who, when, why, and what. First of all, who is a migratory child? To make this determination, the recruiters and reviewers must ask the following. Who? Is the child under the age of 22? In the migrant program, we can identify children ages birth through 21. Is the child lacking a U.S. issued high school diploma or certificate of high school equivalency? Once a migrant child has graduated or obtained a certificate of high school equivalency, they do not qualify for the program. Is the child or does the child have a parent, guardian, or spouse who is a migratory agricultural worker or migratory fisher? The purpose of the MEP is to serve the children of migratory workers. When? Did the child move on his or her own as a migratory agricultural worker or migratory fisher, or move to accompany or to join a parent, spouse, or guardian who is a migratory agricultural worker or migratory fisher within the preceding 36 months? The child or children have 36 months of eligibility from the last qualifying move. The why. Did the family move due to economic necessity? This is a key question for the program. The what. What is the qualifying seasonal employment or temporary employment in agriculture or fishing? Again, the MEP purpose is to serve the children of agricultural migrant workers. Who is a migrant student? In summary, migrant students are children ages birth through 21 who are entitled to a free public education through grade 12 in the state, and who have not graduated from high school or obtained a high school equivalency certificate. They're children who made a move due to economic necessity as a migratory agricultural worker or fisher, or with or to join a parent, guardian, or spouse who is a migratory agricultural worker or fisher. Identified migratory children in Texas. As we mentioned earlier, identification is the first step to determine who these children are so that we can address their needs. As you can see, there has been a decrease in the number of migrant students in Texas since the 2017-2018 school year. But these numbers have also decreased significantly nationwide. That is why identification of migrant children is important and everyone's assistance is needed. If we cannot identify them, we cannot provide them with the needed services that will help them have the same opportunity for success as all other students have. Migration patterns. Texas is one of the top sending states. Our families mostly concentrate along the central agricultural stream, which includes the state of Michigan, Minnesota, Illinois, and Indiana, among others. Texas migrant families also travel largely to New Mexico.
Program description. The Title I Part C program is a federal program. Title I Part C, as amended, authorizes grants to the states to establish or improve directly or through local agencies programs of education for migratory children. The Code of Federal Regulation provides applicable regulations related to the migrant education program. The Non-Regulatory Guidance, or MEP policy guidance, provides guidance to states and local operating agencies or local education agencies in the use of funds and implementation of supplemental educational and support services to assist migratory children. General program requirements can be found in the Title I Part C Program Guide, Program Description. In addition, all Migrant Education Program grant recipients must operate and implement the program in accordance with all the provisions and assurances of Title I Part C. Some of the key program requirements include: the LEA is responsible for incorporating all MIP activities, services, plans, and guidelines into a migrant-specific section of the District Improvement Plan, DIP, and updating it on a yearly basis. MEP activities shall address the identified and unique educational needs of migratory children that result from their migratory lifestyle, and to permit these children to participate effectively in school, and to address the unique educational needs of migratory children that are not addressed by services available from other federal or non-federal programs. In providing services with Title I Part C, LEA shall give priority to serving Priority for Service PFS migratory children with MEP funds before using migrant funds to address the needs of other migratory children. Priority for Service will be addressed later in this session. The identification and recruitment of all eligible migratory children and youth residing in the LEA must be conducted on a yearly basis. Migrant student data collection and data entry in the New Generation System, which is the Migrant Student Database. Provide for advocacy and outreach activities for migratory children and their families, including coordination to inform such children and their families of other education, health, nutrition, and social services. Ensure parental participation in the MEP. The MEP-funded LEA will establish an LEA-wide or district-wide Migrant Parent Advisory Council, or PAC. Provide information regarding family literacy. Coordinate with available programs offering options for credit accrual and recovery to ensure that migratory secondary students are accessing opportunities available to earn needed credits and make up courses or credits due to late entry or early withdrawal. Coordinate and collaborate with sending and receiving districts and states to ensure continuity of services for migratory children as they move from LEA to LEA or from LEA to other states, and conduct an evaluation of their migrant education program.
This section provides information related to the parent and family engagement requirements associated with Title I Part C Migrant Education Program. Parental involvement is an integral part of all Title I programs, including the Migrant Education Program. The MEP supports parental involvement to effectively help migrant children experience academic success. Parent Advisory Councils, or PACs, empower parents to be advocates and supporters of the program because they have a personal stake in the program's success. The goal of the PAC is to provide parents with knowledge and skills for problem solving and decision making. and to provide opportunities for parents to function in a variety of roles, such as advisors, tutors, audience, school program supporters, and advocates. Fiscal requirements. Supplement, not supplant. What does supplement, not supplant mean? Supplement, not supplant is the phrase used to describe the requirement that MEP funds may only be used to supplement the level of funds that would, in the absence of MEP funds, be made available from non-federal sources for the education of children participating in MEP projects. SEAs and local operating agencies may not use MEP funds to supplant, i.e. replace, non-federal funds. Priority for service. According to Section 1304D of the ESEA, state education agencies must prioritize specific migratory children when providing MEP-funded services. Priority for service children are children who made a qualifying move within the previous one-year period and are failing or most at risk of failing to meet the challenging state academic standards or had dropped out of school. Use of funds. General fiscal assurances. Section 5 of the program guide provides details from the program-specific provisions and assurances. One key general assurance for the use of funds is that funds are used by a local school district or other operating agency only in accordance with the project application. In general, funds available under the MEP may only be used to identify eligible migratory children and their needs, and provide educational and support services, including but not limited to preschool services, professional development, advocacy and outreach, parental involvement activities, and the acquisition of equipment that address the identified needs of the eligible children. Section 5, Use of Funds, also provides program-specific assurances related to comparability of services, school-wide programs, priority for service, assurances related to coordination. Other ESA requirements, use of funds. Are there other available resources? Does the activity of service supplement and not supplant non-federal funds? According to ESA, Section 1304 C2 requires that MEP programs and projects be carried out in a manner consistent with the objectives of ESEA, Section 1118B. Is the need already addressed by services available from other programs? In general, ESA Section 1306B2 requires that MEP funds be used to address the needs of migratory children not addressed by services available from other federal and not federal programs. According to Guidance A1, what is a need? It refers to the gap between a present state, what is, and a desired state, what should be. The need is neither the present nor the future, is the gap in between them. Carryover of funds. Carryover funds. As per ESA Title I Part C, MEP funds remaining at the end of the grant period are made available to grant recipients through a carryover process. This allows grants recipients to use unobligated balances from the prior fiscal year in the current grant year. For a specific section on carryover of Title I Part C funds, please see Section 6 of the program guide. Private school equitable services. Key points related to private school equitable services in Title I Part C. An LEA receiving assistance under Title I Part C must provide eligible private non-profit school children and their teachers and other educational personnel with equitable services and other benefits under this program. Before the LEA makes a decision that affects the opportunity of eligible private non-profit school children, teachers, or other educational personnel to participate, the LEA must engage in timely and meaningful consultation with private school officials and maintain written documentation of such efforts. Please note that the educational services and other benefits, including materials and equipment, shall be secular, neutral, and non-ideological. Educational services and other benefits for eligible private school children should be equitable in comparison to services and other benefits for public school children participating under the Title I Part C Migrant Education Program, and shall be provided in a timely manner. The ALEA may provide services directly or through a third-party contract with public and private agencies, organizations, and institutions. See Program Guide Section 7 for additional details and guidance.
Compliance reporting. Upon certification and submission of the ESSA Consolidated Federal Grant Application, LEA certify that they will comply with all requirements noted in statute. An ESSA Consolidated Compliance Report is completed by LEAs annually to document that LEAs complied with the program-specific provisions and assurances in the preceding application year. LEAs are responsible for indicating the sources of documentation used to establish compliance. The documentation is to remain on file at the LEA level. That is where the random validation items are selected from. The Federal Fiscal Monitoring Division is responsible for monitoring the expenditures of federal grant subrecipients to ensure federal funds are used for authorized purposes in compliance with federal statutes, regulations, and the terms and conditions of federal awards. The Title I Part C is included in the Federal Program Compliance Division monitoring of the program requirements through random validations and compliance reporting. Resources. Some resources referenced in the Title I Part C Program Guide include Every Student Succeeds Act, Office of Migrant Education or OME, Migrant Education in Texas, Service Delivery Plan, MEP Policy Guidance, Program Guidelines, ESSA Consolidated Grant Application, ESSA Funding Formulas Reference Manual.
COVID-19. As a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, additional flexibility in the administration of federal grant programs is likely to be issued by the U.S. Department of Education. Any additional flexibility for Title I Part C Migrant Education Program that is available to LEAs related to COVID-19 will be provided on TA's Grant Compliance and Administration page.
Here is our contact information. Please feel free to reach out to us for information or any questions you may have about the Title I Part C Migrant Education Program. Thank you for your participation in this session, and thank you for all you do for the migratory children in Texas.